Welcome back. During our recent investigation into Suge Knight and Tupac and Diddy and everything that is going on, I'm going to announce to you some news that are chilling and breaking. Right now, Suge Knight, he's flipping the stance on Tupac, and he's, saying in his new murder interview for his collect calls that justice is served. He's no longer on Keefe D's side. Before he was supporting Keefe D, he is no longer doing this. So let's jump into it and let's talk about what's going on in the recent news and events. Our Compton native Suge Knight, he is no longer defending Keefe D. He is a former gang member accused of involvement in Tupac Shakur's 1996 fatal shooting, and the Death Row Records co-founder flipped his stance regarding Tupac's murder in his latest episode on his collect call. And so, Knight, who is currently serving a 28-year sentence in San Diego, California State Prison for voluntary manslaughter, now insists that justice is being served for one of the hip-hop's greatest icons. And so it's been a long time since I was able to talk freely about Pac because we were so close. He said, and the thing is, Pac is finally getting justice, and justice for Pac is not so much somebody getting punished or going to prison. It's the fact that if you was around Pac and you had your hands in the pot with him, and you were into trying to destroy him, and we got the receipts. It's not a problem, he said. Coming straight from Knight, quoted directly from his collect call. Now, Knight continued, even revealing his former friend's motive for playing a part in ending Tupac's life. I said from day one, when we first started talking about jealousy is worse than hate, and that's the thing about what's going on today. A lot of these young people, they have jealous intentions. They say they're on your side, they say they're with you, and they may be for you, but deep down they're actually having hidden intentions to plan or plot against you. And that's a problem in this world because, you can't make friends anymore. You have to be aware, you have to be smart. So, for playing a part in ending Tupac's life, I said from day one, when we first started talking about jealousy is worse than hate. When your name starts ringing, people get jealous of you. If a person hates you, they can be across the street and they can see you. They can see you, Every time they wake up, you're right there, and that's all they think about. Case the record for Mr. Davis is present in custody, and Mr. Davis does not have an attorney. But another thing that Mr. Davis is talking about is that he's saying it was all for entertainment purposes and just for cash. He's saying everything that he said in the interviews before, everything that he talked about was all just for money and it was fake. It wasn't true. It's kind of interesting though that he's trying to now flip his stance. He was first talking about his health deteriorating, and now he's talking about saying it was just for cash and fun and entertainment purposes. There's something deeper going on. Suge Knight also did say that Keefe D doesn't want to necessarily talk about it or incriminate anybody, but he was saying he was a scapegoat, that he was just the person that was a setup for the real person that actually did cause the murder. And so we're still investigating on these recent pending investigations, but we're going to let you know exactly what the news has to hold coming up in these further investigations. And in custody, Mr. Davis does not have an attorney. Mr. Hillel and Mr. Dejo are here on the behalf of the state. And Mr. Davis, have you been able to retain the services of counsel? No, okay. So I'm going to need you to appoint an attorney to represent you today. But nobody wants to represent Keefe D. There's a lot of things that he did to incriminate himself, and things that hit the fan, the heat's on him, and he's kind of a little afraid, personally from what he told me. Today, do you understand that, yes ma'am, all the rights are based upon, is my understanding that the public defendant office is not, may I approach that? Yes, thank you. And so Mr. Royal, Mr. C, to my understanding, you guys are able to confirm as counsel today that is corrector. Okay, have you had a moment to speak with Mr. Davis about AR? We did order this morning. Okay, are you prepared to go forward with the AR? And so, have one thing, are you guys taking this to death review, or are we not, and not okay? The state Nazi, and go into the D review on this, so are you prepared? Yes, okay. Excuse me. Yes, M? What do you mean? Okay, I'm asked in every murder case, where this in every first degree murder case, I have to ask the state if they're going to come into a committee to try to seek the death penalty. And so I just asked them, and they said no. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so in light of that, Mr. Davis, sir, what is your full name? Dwayne Keefe Davis How old are you? 60. How far did you go in school? Like college? Okay, I'm sorry. What was ULC? Hey, do you read the right and understand that the English language? Yes, ma'am. Sir, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcoholic beverages at this time? And so now Diddy is showing the repercussions, as we have been talking about ever since, Cassie filed a lawsuit against him. And so which settled the question was how much or how long will all of these allegations sort of be haunting him. And by the way, since he settled the lawsuit with Cassie, there have been 2 other lawsuits filed, and he continues as he did when they were filed. He is denying all of the allegations, but there are clearly going to be some repercussions, and now they're feeling it as one of his companies in his empire, and that is one of his biggest faults, actually. Yeah, Revolt TV, I'm snitching in the kitchen. Did he get a tell on him? He said he tried to do it on me, so I know it's true. I was married. My ex-wife, I got a phone call in the middle of the night. He was saying around about 2:30 in the morning, and my wife says, pick up the phone on it. It was an unknown number, an unknown phone caller. And so he picked up the phone, and who was calling? And he did, and he said, hey man, we didn't see what the bet awards, what you doing? I'm like, I'm in bed with my wife, he said. Hey, I'm in the Beverly Hills Hilton at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I said, what's up? I said, who over there? He said, just me. If you're talking about Sean Diddy, comes the word on the street is he's running on empty. We're not just snooping around Diddy's money matters. We're also peeking into when Mr. 50 Cent is throwing into the mix. And remember, 50 Cent has been talking about all these rap moguls. He's been flaming them, he's been getting on their heads, he's been talking about, Suge Knight saying that, he's incriminating certain people like with Diddy and Keefe D, even though he's not trying to incriminate them with certain little subtle things that he's doing. And, he's getting on everybody. He's not laying anybody free. And so he's running on empty. We're not just snooping around. And so we're also peeking into and throwing into the mix. 50 Cent is getting crowned a genius by Charlemagne, the god himself. And now why is that a big deal? Because Charlemagne doesn't spill the beans against the big shots. If you catch my drift and why we should care about what Charlemagne thinks is, well, if Charlemagne is laying out every bit of what 50 Cent is throwing down, and if he's talking about, especially if he's not vibing with Diddy, you best believe the higher-ups are slamming the book shut. You need to all see that 50 Cent is teasing and been doing Diddy on surviving Diddy the whole deal. But man, sponsors are going to ditch you. It's not just him poking fun at his rival. It's him playing the genius card and driving down the value of Revolt TV to his list so he can snag it from Diddy, the chump. Chump change, people can scream, he's the owner, but guess what? The owner isn't squat without those ad dollars, because I'm going to tell you why 50 is literally a diabolical genius. And he's, first of all, you can read 48 Laws of Power and all that stuff. Like, you can read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, but it got to be in you 50 because Diddy reportedly takes temporary leave as chairman and of the revolt and sexual assault. 50 says, I'll buy that from you, and Playboy for the low because, Cadillac and AT&T going to pull out those on the sponsors, I presume. Yes, all those riches and rags, the spoils of war that we saw Diddy accumulate over the span of his entire music career, well, as it turns out, it may as well have been all smoke. Spin mirrors at this point, believe it or not, Diddy's empire may have been just a castle built in a sandbox because boy is it crumbling. And 50 Cent is here to make fun of Diddy as he's watching collapse. 50 Cent has been on Diddy's neck for a few months. And now even before all the allegation came Diddy's way from Cassie to other victims to leading Revolt 50 has been on a roller coaster of emotions and rides. This whole damn time he spared him of no mercy. 50 Cent just let up on Diddy, especially with all these sexual assault allegations swirling around the Bad Boy Records. And giving it up on his social media to down Diddy, who's now facing his third sexual assault lawsuit, not his first, but his third one. He's in some heat right now. He doesn't know what to do. He's trying to say it's not true, but all these women are coming forward. 50 Cent's clowning him and making the jokes about him, and 50 Cent was his buddy, keep in mind, in the past. they used to hang like homies. So 50 Cent knows things that the normal public does not know about Diddy. And so Diddy's trying to keep that on wraps. He's trying to keep that on the low. He doesn't want people to even know. And so, you know, the months to come, the head honcho pull off a bizarre move by blending Diddy and R. Kelly's faces in a pic on Twitter, throwing in R. Kelly's 1998 jam, Did You Ever Think, for some extra spice. The caption went on to say, he do it coming soon, Green Light Gang and another one not stopping. There 50 Cent took his thoughts to Instagram. And so to spill more tea on Diddy's legal mess, he will be fined as much money when his corporate partners pull out. He will just reach into his pocket to make it happen. You saw how fast he paid Cassie. You know, he's a real billionaire. He has that true money, guys. So if you don't even do it coming soon, these 50 Cent gang and gems are going to be dropped right after page 6 and spilled the beans about the Gunny film and the television cooking up a TV special about the Bad Boy record honcho, hinting at a TV project in the works 50 threw out. And the page 6 link on the Friday, boasting himself as the top dog producer for the gig in the 50s, latest post, he threw up a clip of Eddie Griffin cracking jokes about Diddy. And, you know, long-standing feud with Suge Knight, who's currently behind bars on his way to jail, so there's no waiting on him. You get tired of that silly dancing and that, like, pathetic, you know, imitation. And so in your videos, all up on the cell block to see dancing and come over onto the Death Row Records, he did it. Everybody coming out. So 50 Cent is the most pettiest on earth, and ain't this, you know, some joy on his end. Every day, like 50 even talked about Eddie later on his Twitter. Eddie Griffin, LML, doing his thing, boom, fifth. Also went on to say on this Twitter page, rapper, I thought Diddy was a billionaire music mogul. And if he's smart, he will file a bankruptcy. Now, anyone with real money knows why I'm saying this, and I'm the best producer for the job, guys, here. So come to the receipts. You know, the Now 50 hasn't come out and directly said whether he's really working on a documentary or if he's about the accusations swirling around Diddy. Instead, he seems to be reviving in the chaos after the news about Diddy hitting him. And stepping back from Revolt, the company issued a statement to the NBC News spinning, it's like it's about keeping Revolt focused on creating meaningful content for the culture and amplifying the voices of all black people. And so throughout the country and African hysteria, according to their statement, right before the Diddy made his exit, Don on co-host from Monuments and me, a podcast digging into the successes and issues faced by black women, decided not to return for a new season. And so her reason, she's saying she's a sexual assault survivor against Diddy. And it's a matter of personal conviction. I still would like to hear from Revolt's leadership, as there are men in those positions who could have provided a safe space for sexual assault survivors like myself. And so told NBC News, I cannot sign back on and say that I want to be paid to do a podcast for a few of the episodes. We're probably going to reflect this conversation. Diddy and his people could never do anything towards me, making me feel like I needed to continue to be quiet. And as it turns out, Diddy might have been a scary monster who was really good at hiding for years. In years, people are speaking up about his ruthless and violent behavior left, and the right victims are many, and they have united against Diddy to finally take him down. It seems like we're hearing the allegations with Puffy even. And I think that was going on around there. I think those were some sexual demons, and is what I get. And that was going on around Bad Boy Camp in the 90s. So the very first blow that brought Diddy under pretty much every media spotlight that you can think of right now, and all the heat that he's been facing. The Cassie lawsuit, Cassie brought forth a federal lawsuit against Diddy on November 16, accusing the iconic hip-hop figure of rape and prolonged decade of mistreatment that kicked off when she was merely 19. And so Cassie was under contract with Diddy's Bad Boy Records. She piled on a litany of charges spanning sex trafficking, human trafficking, sexual battery, sexual assault, and gender-motivated violence, among others. The suit paints a vivid picture of Diddy's controlling behavior, and they're saying he's manipulated. So, you know, commencing in 2005 when they first crossed paths, intensifying when she linked a deal with his label in 2006, and reaching a zenith of manipulation, taking hold of every aspect of her life, her residence and vehicle, to her wardrobe and even medical records. Diddy's alleged exploits include his pursuit of rapper Kid Cudi and orchestrating the freak-offs coercing Cassie into engaging in sex acts with male sex workers while he filmed the encounter. And that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays too in our investigations that we're seeing more and more of, is that people are trying to, kidnap these women, human traffic them, make videos and content off of them, and put it on these websites to make the money off of them and not give any money to the women and to do it without their consent. It is very wrong what's going on in this world, but it is going on. We're trying to stop it, but it's sad to see that one of our famous rappers is even involved in this sort of thing. But a lot of celebrities, a lot of big figures are doing these secret things behind closed doors without people really knowing. Is it corruption with the money? Is it the politics? It could be a number of different things.